How BDSM can provide a hunting ground for psychopaths. The world of BDSM, an umbrella term for bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, sadism, and masochism, has gained visibility and acceptance in recent years. For many, it's a realm of consensual exploration, trust, and mutual satisfaction. However, like any subculture that involves power dynamics and vulnerability, BDSM can also attract individuals with psychopathic tendencies who exploit these aspects for personal gain. Understanding these risks is essential for fostering safer, more ethical communities. Consent and power exchange, BDSM, is built on the foundation of consent and negotiation. Participants often engage in scenes that involve physical, psychological, or emotional power exchange. Safe words, aftercare, and open communication are cornerstones of healthy BDSM relationships. However, the very nature of these power exchanges, where individuals willingly give up control or push boundaries, can, unfortunately, attract those who wish to abuse these dynamics. Psychopathy and predatory behavior. Psychopathy is characterized by traits such as a lack of empathy, manipulativeness, and a disregard for others' well-being. Psychopaths are known for seeking out environments where they can exploit and control others. The inherent trust and vulnerability required in BDSM can present a hunting ground for such individuals. Case studies: serial killers, cannibalism, and the BDSM community. The intersection between criminal pathology and alternative sexual subcultures has been the subject of several psychological studies. In a notable examination of serial killers with cannibalistic tendencies, researchers uncovered that 3 individuals, each notorious for their crimes, had used the BDSM community as a means to find victims. These cases demonstrated a pattern. The perpetrators exploited the openness, anonymity, and vulnerability present in certain BDSM circles. They presented themselves as experienced dominants, skillfully manipulating the language of consent and trust that underpins ethical BDSM relationships. By doing so, they were able to lure victims who believed they were entering into consensual encounters. For example, in the study, 2 of the killers were found to have frequented online BDSM forums and in-person events, using these spaces to identify and groom potential victims. They leveraged the community's emphasis on secrecy and privacy to avoid detection, often targeting newcomers or individuals who lacked a strong support network. In the most extreme case, one individual used elaborate role-play scenarios as a cover for escalating physical harm that ultimately led to murder and cannibalism. While such cases are exceedingly rare compared to the vast majority of healthy, consensual BDSM relationships, they underscore the importance of vigilance and education within these communities. The study's findings have been used to inform safety protocols and community guidelines, aiming to prevent similar abuses in the future. The allure of sexual violence and sadistic imagery for predators. Predators are drawn to spaces where their harmful impulses can be masked as part of the norm. In the context of BDSM, sadistic imagery and references to sexual violence can provide a veneer of legitimacy to those who wish to cause genuine harm, rather than engage in mutual fantasy. Unlike ethical practitioners, these individuals are not interested in consent, aftercare, or the well-being of their partners. Instead, they use the aesthetics and language of BDSM as camouflage to pursue their own gratification at the expense of others. Some warning signs of predatory behavior in BDSM contexts include pressuring or disregarding boundaries and safe words, isolating partners from the community, manipulating negotiation processes to favor their desires, failing to provide aftercare or support. Why BDSM can be vulnerable to predators. Several factors can make BDSM environments susceptible to exploitation by psychopaths. Normalization of extreme behaviors. What might be red flags in other relationships, e.g., inflicting pain, psychological games, can be normal and consensual in BDSM, making it harder to distinguish abuse. Privacy and taboo. The private, sometimes secretive nature of BDSM can discourage victims from coming forward or seeking help. Power imbalances. Some individuals may not feel empowered to question or confront dominant figures, especially those with status in the community. Safeguards and community responses. The BDSM community has developed robust practices to reduce the risk of abuse, such as education, workshops and resources on consent, negotiation, and red flags, vetting and references, encouraging newcomers to seek recommendations and vet partners, active moderation. Event organizers and online platforms often have codes of conduct and reporting mechanisms. Support networks, peer support and mentorship programs can help individuals recognize and resist predatory behavior. Conclusion: while BDSM can provide a hunting ground for individuals with psychopathic tendencies, it is also a community that values consent, trust, and mutual respect. By staying informed, vigilant, and connected, participants can help create safer spaces and reduce the risk of exploitation.